halftime. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from you and then take questions.
Thanks, and thank all you guys for being here. Just really disappointing. You know, we haven't proven ourselves knowing how to be take advantage of being, understanding winning and what it takes to win the next one and the next one and the next one. I thought we came out on fire tonight, but actually it was Sowers that was on fire tonight, and we just got caught up. And credit to the Whipsnakes, Coach Stagnita, for his game plan. But basically, we stood around and watched each other tonight. It was not like our normal offense, and I take the blame on that. Credit to them, and now we're back in the dogfight. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think, like Coach said, we got off to a great start, and we had a lot of juice in that first half. And coming out of halftime, we didn't have that. And honestly, it's on us as players to make the momentum play or make that juice goal or save or whatever it is. And it's not one guy; it's all 19 of us. Somebody had to make a play that created energy, created momentum that going our way, and we just didn't do it. And that's kind of why they stayed on top of us that whole second half, and we weren't able to make a run or get a lead or anything. It's on the 19 of us to make a play out there and bring juice to our team, our sideline, on the field, to the fans, everything. And we just didn't make a play in the second half to do that. And that's kind of why we went stagnant.
Questions in the room?
Matt, when Kenny went down with injury and kind of gets sucked off the field, Scarpello picks up the pole for you guys. Was there anything, different that you felt, in goal when that switch happens and, how well Kenny was playing? And then obviously you lose his presence. It kind of shifts the defense quite a bit. Did you notice anything different or, seeing things differently when Kenny exited?
Not really anything different. I trust every single one of these 19 guys with a pole, a shorty, with no stick to match feet with any defender. Coach T says it all the time. I truly believe everybody on our team that plays defense can guard anybody in this league. But yeah, I think missing the physical presence that Kenny Brower brings to our defense, it hurts. I mean, you saw the first half, man. When you play with physicality, offensive guys don't like it. And losing that presence, I think, whether it's subconsciously or what, it does have a sense of, effect on our defense. But again, we don't blink an eye. Anybody can pick up a pole. Anybody can have a shorty or no stick, and we trust all these guys to guard them. And we got to just do a better job of kind of understanding what's going on and then making plays from there.
Coach, you get CJ in the lineup for the first time tonight. I know, like you said, not a great night for the offense as a group, but in terms of him, seeing his first PLL action, how did you kind of evaluate his performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, CJ is gonna be a star in this league. I think it was a tough situation. Again, Whipsnakes playing D the way they did was something a little different than what we've seen, and I think he felt like he could get a step on his guy, which he did a few times, and they didn't fall. And you got to credit the Whipsnakes for that. He's a great player. He's had one of the problems is that you only practice once a week, and so we had an hour practice yesterday, and trying to get a guy into the flow of all that. And I have no disappointments. He had some shots, he had some opportunities, and those will start to fall.
Coach, like you mentioned, you guys got out to that hot start. Michael goes 4 straight goals for you, and then the Whipsnakes made those adjustments. Did you guys pick up anything as a staff, just schematic-wise, that the Whipsnakes immediately kind of, shifted their focus to really shut Michael off, and that really kind of, stagnated the offense a bit?
Yeah, they didn't make adjustments. The adjustments they made were before the game, and they played the same defense after Michael had his 4 goals than they did before. Just started working better, and Carroll made a couple of timely saves. We missed 3 or 4 layups that could have been goals, but Matt saved some that could have been goals too. So you can't only look at it that way. They were a better team tonight, and we were the better team the last time we played. We did to them the last time. We took it to them in the fourth quarter. They took it to us in the fourth quarter tonight. That's the nature of this league, and you just don't know what's going to happen after all the other games this weekend. You kind of thought tonight was going to be high scoring, and then you see the 2 goalies play well and the defenses play well, and we didn't do great on man up and we didn't do great on man down, and usually we're pretty good at both of those things. So, it wasn't our night, and we got our work to do to bounce back next week in Salt Lake.
Just Matt Brandow, just your thoughts on his fourth quarter and kind of how he picked it up for them.
What's that?
Matt Brandow got to 4 goals and start to fourth. Just your impressions of how he picked up his game after the first 3 quarters.
Well, Matt's a fabulous player. We had a little bad luck when we traded him for Zed Williams, who then popped his Achilles, and so I'm sure he had a little extra fire tonight. And people don't know how I deal with players. When we were talking about the deal, the first thing I did is I talked to Matt and I said, "What do you want to do?" And this was a better opportunity for him to play. He wasn't going to play in front of Michael Sowers. And so, to their credit, and Coach Stagnita's credit, they found a nice niche for him. He didn't, he gets the last 4, man up, and just, in 4 different ways. It just shows what a great player he is, and credit to him.
Other question in the room? Questions on Zoom, Mike?
Hey, Coach, we've highlighted the play of the younger players on this team all season long. What are you kind of hoping that they take away from a tough loss like this to this point of the season?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, after being 2-8 last year, and we finished the year on a high note, with beating the Atlas in the last game, you kind of look back and say, "Oh, why didn't we play that way every game and we would have been 10-0?" It just doesn't work that way, So what we need to do is learn how to win, learn how to, when you get a 4-goal lead on somebody, learn how to, put the hammer down and keep going at them. And by the way, I'm not sure exactly, since this is printed in micro letters and numbers. This staff did a great job tonight with Nardella facing off, and so we had the ball plenty of times. And to their credit, we didn't score like we have been scoring in the early offense, except that first quarter early in the game. So you hope to learn that everybody in this league is great. Just because you beat somebody once doesn't mean you beat them again. Just because you score the first 4 doesn't mean, anything. You saw one team was down 8 last night. This league's too crazy for that stuff. So hopefully we get healthy, and hopefully we learn from this and come back ready to play a full 4 quarters. We got 3 tough games coming up to finish the season, and we got to get some wins again to get back in the playoff hunt.
David?
Hey, Coach, in the second half, what did Maryland do that made you guys had some issues that you guys could not get your goals scored?
Well, listen, when Michael was so doing everything for us early, and rightfully so, that's what he does. They made a decision to slide to him early, double team him, and take their chances on the off-ball stuff. We dropped 3 sitters, and after that could have stopped that kind of strategy, and but it didn't work, and that's credit to them. So Michael's, he's certainly the premier player in the league, and they had to figure out something to stop him, and they didn't stop him, but they stopped us, and so. We'll reevaluate, because once somebody does something to you, it's a copycat league. Coaching's a copycat occupation, and we'll see more of it next time.
Overall, how do you think CJ did in his first game tonight?
He did fine. CJ was. We weren't sure of the face-off situation, so we had to put a shorty in at the attack on the face-off so that staff didn't get caught on defense too often, and that strategy worked. But it also means you got to sub a guy off when you do win face-offs, and it takes a little time. And as we all know, the face-off shot clock 32-second thing puts a lot of stress. It's counterintuitive. It puts a lot of stress on the team that does well. And so, as I said earlier, this year we've been pretty good at that first 32. Staff's been really good winning face-offs. And so we just got to get back to it and count on him to get us the ball and have our attack ready to go. But with CJ and Jake Taylor and Kieran and Michael, we feel like we got 4 great attackmen, and we're going to have to find different ways to have them score goals.
What is your message that you gave to the team after the game tonight, and your message overall to the fan base?
It's a game, you know. It's there's nothing you can do about it. You want to, you know, we've been very good at winning with class and respectful of the other teams, and we've got to be good at, you know, at losing with class, and that's the way this league is. You know, 2 weeks ago everybody was 3-2 or 2-3, and you know, now you got a couple of teams, the Atlas and the Outlaws, getting away from everybody a little bit, but they both had tough games today. So anybody can win on a given day, and you know, our job is not to worry now about other teams. It's to worry about ourselves and just get better, figure out if we're going to have Kenny or not, and if not, we'll have to make some adjustments to change that.
Mike?
Yeah, Coach. Building off of CJ Kirsch's return, how was it dividing the touches on the offensive side of the ball tonight?
With CJ's return, how was it dividing the touches on offense tonight?
You know, listen. Whenever you put anybody new in the lineup, it's gonna change things. He's used to being the guy a team relies on. You know, right now, Michael's the guy that we rely on. So we've got to get better at taking advantage of him instead of having another midi who just runs and kind of moves the ball. We've got another great midi who can beat people and then put the ball in the goal. I'm sure he's disappointed he didn't score any tonight, but we got plenty of lacrosse in front of us, and you know, I have no worries about how good he's going to be.
Last one, Kyle.
Yeah, for both of you guys, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Zach Currier tonight became first player to have 200 career points and 400 career ground balls. Just his importance and, you know, presence and leadership in that locker room for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's what you see on the field is what you're getting on and off the field. He's an incredible leader. He's an incredibly skillful lacrosse player. I truly think overall skill and the full field of the game that you look at, that's the best lacrosse player in the world. Like, he plays defense, offense, can face off, can score goals, can assist plays, can set picks, and he doesn't just do this on the field. He does this indoor, and then he does it all the time. Like, you don't get Zach Currier's every generation. I mean, he picks up ground balls like his stick's a vacuum, and then he'll go throw a fake and score a hard goal getting hit to the ground. Like, you don't find guys like that, and he's a natural leader. He speaks up when he needs to, but he leads with his play. He's never not going 110%, and you see that on the field. And it's hard not to play hard when you have a guy like that roaming around in the middle of the field and making the plays he does. He's a phenomenal lacrosse player. He's a great leader, and he's a great teammate, and he's truly what I think one of the best skillful lacrosse players in the world.
Yeah, Zach's a winner. You know, you don't have to. He's one of those guys you just don't have to say anything to or worry about. He'll do anything. When it looked like we were going to get CJ back, he came and volunteered to be a shorty, playing on the wings, playing offense, playing defense, and as Matt said, overall the best midi in my take out there. And he just does it. He's like a machine. He just keeps doing it over and over and over again without saying a heck of a lot. So we're proud of him, proud to have him, and you know, he'll have plenty of great lacrosse in front of him.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
and know why it's so small.
Matt, Coach, congrats on the win. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from each of you and then take questions.
Go ahead, Brando.
It was a battle. Matt did a great job. Tim Miller did a great job of lighting a spark under us. Coach did a great job. And, with this group, we know that we're not going to roll over no matter what the circumstances are. And we came out and fought hard in the second half and showed a little bit of what we can do. And that being said, I still think there's a ton of room for improvement even in the second half. So obviously huge to get a win under our belt and just glad that we showed a little bit of fight there.
Yeah, I think it certainly wasn't a perfect game, but in this league, you say you kind of always reach a point where you're within the game. And almost 80% of them, third quarter, anybody can take it, and we've been on the wrong side of those most games. So I think for us, it was a really positive sign just to show that we, could finish a game and win. And I think a lot of guys stepped up, and different guys did in different ways, whether it was, Timmy Muller, Matt just mentioned, through a leadership perspective, really kind of had a ton of presence tonight. Matt stepped up big time. Emmett Carroll did a great job. A number of guys started battling. So I think for us, just showing that we could be what is a really talented team. They're a very talented team. And just to show that we didn't back down and finish the game, I think is a great sign. So I'm just proud of us for that.
It's it's been a little challenging, right? 3 weeks off coming into last week. We were not sharp. We don't get to practice together during that time. You can only watch so many Zooms together. So we really focused this week on doing certain things. And we didn't do those things necessarily in the first half, but we did come out in the second half and executed on both ends of the field. And our defense was terrific. At halftime, Sowers was winning. And in the second half, I think the way we were able to play him and the way Ajax responded after halftime kind of took everybody else on their team out of the game in one way or another. Obviously, Brandau finished his shots. Brad Smith showed up. More guys contributed in different ways, and it was just a great effort in the second half. Our challenge going forward is, we still haven't played 4 quarters yet.
Questions?
For Matt Brando, 4 straight goals for you. 3 of them, I believe, were registered assists from TJ. Can you just talk about the growing relationship you guys have and just take us through that sequence where, ball's in your stick 4 straight times and you're able to cash in?
TJ is a phenomenal lacrosse player. All over the field, he does the right thing. He knows where the ball needs to go, and it's a blast playing with him. The chemistry is really growing. It helps that he also moved in down the street from me at home in New York City, so that's fun. But he's just a great kid, and we're talking a ton off the field. We're talking a ton on the field, and as the chemistry grows, I think we're going to start seeing the fruits of that connection a little bit more.
Coach, you mentioned Brad Smith tonight. He hits that 2. He follows it up with a 1-pointer 15 seconds later. In your mind, is that key sequence of the game right there, going from 6-2 to 6-5 real quick?
Yeah, for a couple reasons. Obviously, it changed the momentum, and it got Brad Smith going. Brad was off for well over a year, and expectations have to be realistic. Sometimes, we're missing Tucker Dordovic, we're missing Conrad and other guys. Now all of a sudden we thrust Brad into what's the number 1 position again, where he should have been able to be 3 and work his way back. But we need him to play like that, and he did. He was aggressive. I thought he had a couple opportunities, honestly, in the second half that he left on the table. But just to see him play that hard and be aggressive is, I think that's something that we really need.
Matt, you play a lot of lacrosse on this stage before you got with these guys. What's it feel like to be back here and to finish the game off like that?
Oh, it's awesome. I love this place. Staying at the Omni Hotel right off on Yale's campus is a blast. Got to spend a little bit of time walking around and seeing the school, but it feels like home when I'm here. Spent a lot of time at Yale, a couple extra years, so it's fun being back here and having a blast.
I think Penn's nicer.
Up for debate.
Coach, Sowers goes off with 4 in the first real quick. You guys are down 4-zip. What adjustments did you make to see the defense clamp down and the offense sort of take over from there?
Well, we needed to play the picks better. right? We didn't change the way we were approaching it. We just did it better. Right? We were able to get through. The communication was better. The shorties got out and were a little more physical. A couple of those, one of those couple early picks or two, I think they were moving. But outside of that, we were able to negotiate the picks better. And I thought Ajax did a great job in the second half, and our shorties did a really good job. Playing a pick it's a two-man job, and they both got to play it properly. And we did it in the second half.
Matt, being on the defensive end and captain of the team, what's it like being in that position where you're trying to keep everybody kind of calm and knowing that it's kind of a tight game? It's different when all the bounces are going the other way, but you guys are a few bounces away from winning the game for most of the game. What's it like walking that fine line of keeping things from falling apart versus keeping you guys in the game?
Yeah, it's a great question. Something that I think it starts with Coach Staggs, like from a culture the question you're asking is directly related to culture and how we handle responding to negative things that go against us. And that's something that he's preached since 2019 when I've come to this team. And so he's done a good job of hammering that with a lot of the returners and the older guys, and we try to continue to echo that. And I think what you saw today was a lot of guys just really buying into that. One thing we talk about is he talks about controlling effort, energy, and how you respond to adversity. And we're go down quick and we're talking in the huddles are those just words we say, or are we going to take advantage of this opportunity to do it? Because that's going to, who are we here? So just being really process-oriented. All you can do is win that next possession and not play differently because the first quarter went wrong, and also look at every other game in this league. I think the game this afternoon was 6-0 off the start or something. We know how this league can go, so we just have to continue to play. So I think it just starts at the top, and I think we saw today, which I think makes a lot of us proud, is guys bought into that and executed, and it wasn't just words we were saying.
For Matt Dunn, CJ Kirst makes his debut tonight. For you, as somebody who might cover him or scheming against a player like that, what challenges come with it being his first pro game and somebody you maybe have not seen a lot of before?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've seen him play in college plenty, but it's different because and quite honestly, it's a challenge for him and them because they have to figure out. We've seen this before. You have to figure out his college team, as good as they were, didn't have Mike Sowers, Jack Hanna, Kieran McCardle, Jake Taylor, and so I think his role will look different in the next coming weeks, and we'll see how they figure it out. And for us, we know he's a good player, so we just kind of follow our principles and see how it goes. And we have a game plan, we start off executing it, and we adjust if it's wrong. So we didn't approach it any differently. We just knew it was another really good player out there that we would have to monitor. But I would expect to see his role on that team change as they start to figure out who they are with him a little bit.
The coach was saying you might have some motivation playing against them. Did it feel like that, or did it just feel like another game? And just talk about the chance to come here and have this opportunity.
I think we try to approach it. We approach every game like it's its own. No extra motivation. It's a great group of guys over there, really nice guys. But I'm certainly happy that I'm in this locker room now and have this opportunity to be out here and playing for the Whipsnakes. And it's nothing different than any other game.
We'll go to Zoom. Miles?
Yeah, Matt Dunn, we heard a little bit of your halftime speech on the broadcast. We heard you say that it's embarrassing when you guys don't bring it because that's something that you guys can control. And I was just wondering if you could walk me through the emotion that you were feeling during that moment, and then for Matt Brandow, the emotion that you were feeling when you hear your veteran kind of say something like that to you guys.
Well, honestly, I was echoing what Tim Muller said on the field, which you guys may have missed. It was pretty good. Should have captured that. But, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Tim said it, and I think for us, we all, we talked earlier today about, kind of why we do this. And so a lot of guys in this league sacrifice a lot to do this, and a lot of guys want to be doing this. And so we'll make mistakes, and that's one thing, but to feel like guys were not present and giving it all we can out there, and just knowing the potential of our team too, it was frustrating. And I think we have some younger guys on our team that are starting to feel out their role, and we're trying to get everybody to understand that when you're in this league, there are no young guys at this point. Everybody needs to contribute and play. So honestly, it was just kind of expressing the way we were feeling a little bit, but I got to give Tim Muller a lot of credit, veteran defender on our team, who's who's really stepped up on the field, but also in just a leadership role. I think a lot of the guys look to him, and the more voices we have at going the right points, the stronger we're going to be.
For the second part of your question, if you've watched the PLL in the last however many years, you know that Matt Dunn and Tim Muller are some of the best defensemen in the league and have always been pretty much. So when they're telling you to give it all you got, you know, you owe it to them and you owe it to the rest of the team and you owe it to yourself to go out there and do it. And I think, you know, like what Matt and Coach said and what Tim said, like they can just be words, but you actually have to go out there and step on the field and tighten your chin strap and execute. And, you know, those guys pulled us along, and they know that they're young guys, but like you said, you got to grow up quick and you got to become a veteran very fast. So having them lighting a fire is very helpful.
Hayden?
Yeah, for Matt Branda, you had a few goals tonight where you were just sort of sitting on that back post, and you had 2 on power play, and Malone was able to feed you on 3 of those. Did you see anything on tape or just over the course of the game that allowed you to get open there?
No, I think, you know, honestly, if you flash and TJ Mullen sees your stick open for a second, he's going to put the ball right in your pocket, and you're just going to have to take care of the easy part from there. So, you know, nothing out of the ordinary there.
Any other questions? Yeah, Miles?
Coach, you mentioned in last week's press conference that your team, you guys have a chance to make a run at the title by the end of the season, by the time it comes out, similar to the way that you guys did last year. Is there something that you see from the guys in your team that kind of maybe played differently when your guys' backs are against the wall?
It's not the way that we would like to be. Honestly, it's not our plan. But at the end of the day, you know, let's look at it realistically, okay? Matt Brandau played in maybe 1 game last year, maybe 2, in a completely different position. Brad Smith had taken a year off. We have new pieces. We're missing guys, right? We have rookies who are in the lineup. It takes a little while for it all to come together. And, you know, maybe in the second half tonight it did. We certainly have shown stretches of greatness. But we've also, you know, been on the other end of that. You know, to Matt Brandau's point, you know, Matt Dunn has been an amazing leader and again, I do leadership for a living, and I'm just so proud of how he leads his team. And, you know, Timmy stepped up today, and that takes so much pressure off of me because I don't have to say things, and they get tired of me saying the same things over and over again. We're starting to figure it out. You know, last year we had a lot of new pieces in there, and it took a little while to get them going, and some came later in the year. So we're starting to get a little bit more comfortable. And like I said, Brad Smith, you know, did a great job today in the second half for the first time this year. We really embraced and made the adjustments, and they executed the adjustments on both ends of the field. And you know, so, you know, is our plan to start slow and be good at the end of the year? We want to be playing our best lacrosse at the end of the year. At the same time, you know, I do understand that there's a lot of new pieces out there, and it takes a little while for it to come together. This game is hard, and everybody's really good.
Any other questions? Thank you all. Enjoy the win.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.